Congratulations. Welcome to Ghana. Welcome to Asante Kotoko. This is the second time you're coming to Ghana after you in Kumasi in the early 2000s for the AFCON. How was your experience there?
Yeah, no, it's obviously a very, very long time ago. It's already 26 years ago since I came back to Ghana, but that was during the AFCON in South Africa. We were based in Kumasi. At least our group was based there. And we played against Gabon, the DRC, and Algeria. That was the group that we were in, and we won 2, drew 1. And we ended up playing Ghana in the quarterfinals, obviously at the Baba Yara Stadium. The only time the stadium got filled was obviously against Ghana. You know, the group games, it wasn't as full, but there were spectators there, and the support that we did get as the Bafana team was really, really good from the people from Kumasi. And we beat Ghana, unfortunately, in the quarterfinals for them. And we moved on to play in the semis in Nigeria, because it was obviously hosted between the two countries. And we lost that semi-final and then had to fly back to Accra, where we ended up playing the fourth place game against Tunisia. But what I do remember from the time that I was there, extremely hot, very humid temperatures then, especially that time of the year, because it's obviously January, February. People were really, really good from Kumasi to us, really received us with open arms. I remember on a day off, myself and Mark Fish went to go play a round of golf. And I am a golf fan. I enjoy my golf. So we played a round of golf, and that was very nice to experience. So I have some fond memories, even in Accra. We stayed in a hotel very near to the beach, and that was nice. I love the ocean. I enjoy the ocean, even though the water might not be as warm as much people would like. I enjoy the cold water. So spending a day or two in Accra was also fantastic. But yeah, we were a good 2 weeks in Kumasi. So I have a bit of history.
So you've met the board, executive board chairman, the board, and other workers of the club. What is your view and impression of the club so far? And how are you excited about this project?
Yeah, obviously I've known Asante Kotoko for a long time, especially as a coach, because you know, the clubs that I coached and when we were in the CAF competitions, you always feared to get Asante Kotoko. You didn't want to play Asante Kotoko because you know the quality and the talent that comes out of the Ghanaian league is really massive. Truthfully, I wasn't a full-time follower of the club, but over the years, obviously, the club, which is a massive African giant club, is a club with a lot of history in African football, has kindly slipped down the table. Now, to see that happen to a club of this nature and this stature is obviously massively disappointing. And obviously they come off the back of what would be regarded as a very poor season, having finished 8th in the league. So coming to the club, I know the pressure that is obviously going to be under me, because you know, we need to achieve, we need to win things, we need to get this club back to where it belongs. We don't want to be calling it a sleeping giant, we want to be calling it a giant again. And we want to be competing at the highest level, and that is me as a coach. I want to compete at the highest level, I want to play in the highest leagues. So massive job ahead of us to fulfill our mandate, but a lot of positivity, believing that is what we can achieve.
You have managed several teams. How different is this club from the others?
Yeah, I think obviously in comparison, I would put it with Orlando Pirates, having coached Orlando Pirates, which is a massive club in South Africa. Asante Kotoko is no different. It's the highest supported club in Ghana. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with that and a lot of expectation. But as you said, I come with a lot of experience. I've been around with many clubs. I've been pretty successful in all the clubs that I've been to and coached. You know, I've been involved in CAF Champions League. I've been involved in CAF Confeds. I've got to finals. And that's going to be the objective and the purpose in hopefully a year's time, is that we can find ourselves in that group phase of CAF and competing at the highest level. So I think the 20 years of experience of coaching that I have is only going to benefit myself and obviously the club itself.
So with your history as a great defensive midfielder, what is your playing philosophy? Are you the counter-attack, the tackle, the high pressing, game pressure? What should we anticipate?
Yeah, I think, you know, my background is, as you said, I played as a defensive midfielder, but I was a massive fan of Dutch football, Dutch playing philosophy, a massive fan of Spanish football, especially Barcelona was a team that I supported since the age of 10. They are my favorite club. And I think what is more important right now is putting the tiki-taka aside and the total football that you get from the KNVB. The game has evolved and has moved on. And as a coach, I need to have a little bit of diversity in terms of how I want the team to play. And if there's one thing my career has helped me with, is that I'm actually a good tactician. I know systems, I know formations, I can adapt. And as I stated before, the game has evolved, and as coaches, we need to think deeper. We need to have more than just a plan A. We must have a plan B, plan C. And at this level, good teams and great teams need to find a way to win. Now, the demand of the modern game is winning. But at the same time, what I don't want my team to do is forget the other side of the game, which is entertainment. It's what draws the spectators and the fans to stadiums. So I obviously want to see my team still play entertaining football, but know that at the end of the day, we are judged on whether we won or lost. But I think that's a key factor.
What about your man management? You know, football is about players and players are humans. And so how do you manage players to get them to do the very best while maintaining discipline and also respect for each other?
Yeah, I think, again, you know, this is another area of where football has evolved. Myself as a footballer, I grew up listening to every command of the coach and respecting the coach and got shouted at a lot as a player. But I think my generation, we understood that, you know, and we didn't take it personal. I think the younger generation is slightly different. They see things differently, and I think my coaching has evolved in that area as well over the years. You know, go back 20 years ago to now. How I coach is very, very different to them. And the modern day coach, in my opinion, has to be passing on a lot more responsibility and ownership to the players. My job, truthfully, should be about managing, not coaching, you know. But that is an area of African football that I still think needs a lot of development, because I don't think at our younger age groups, the players are taught tactical discipline. And there's a lot of areas of youth development that we still have to do at the highest level in African football. But I firmly believe in the game not being coach-centered. I believe it to be player-centered, and then passing on that responsibility to the players becomes important. That they must realize that ultimately the one who's out on the field playing is not me, it's them. And they need to take ownership of that.
No, that's great. We are already in the preseason era, As your preseason plan, how important is preseason to you as a coach?
Preseason is the most important period, and as a coach, sometimes it's very, very difficult to join the club midway or towards the end of the season and look to effect the team in a positive manner. Preseason is key because you want to build a foundation and a solid foundation. And that foundation covers a number of areas. Discipline, creating a healthy environment, a working environment. Because if you create those, naturally players become more professional in terms of their discipline, in terms of their attitude, and more professional in terms of how they train. Again, the foundation gives me an opportunity to look at the squad we currently have. What areas can we look to improve on in terms of scouting players and bringing players in? So you want to be able to do that now during the preseason. You don't want to be doing it during the season, because ultimately you want everybody to be on the same page in terms of what's our playing philosophy, what is our game model, what is our expectations and our demands as a club. You don't want to still be dealing with that once the season starts. But sometimes it does happen. So the foundation is extremely important, and as I stated, it has to be a very solid foundation, especially when it comes to playing philosophy, game model, physical exertion, the demand of the game, especially the way I want the team to play.
How do you see us, and what are our chances in competing strongly domestically for the Ghana Premier League and the FA Cup?
I think massive. We've got to remember that this is a big club. It's a big name. And for that reason alone, teams fear us. So we go into games with an advantage. But now it's about us taking advantage of that. And I think this coming season, with our planning, with our preparation, with our professionalism, good work ethic, nothing stops us from achieving our goals. Only ourselves.
Yep.
So I see a bright future.
Great. What legacy do you intend to leave as Asante Kotoko?
The legacy I want to leave is obviously that we make this not a sleeping giant, but a live giant. That the whole continent sees us again. And obviously I want to see the club in a year's time back in CAF competitions, playing at the highest level. And I want to see growth at the club in terms of the various age groups that the club possesses, from the first team down to the youth system. I would like to see young players coming through the system. And obviously I want to see the club again lift the trophy, because that's the most important factor.
So what's your message to the fans?
Yeah, my message to the fans is that a great fan and a true fan is a fan who is there with the team through the good and the bad. And I know that through the bad, there becomes massive disappointment and disbelief in the team. But for this team to grow and get back to those heights, they need the 12th man, and that's the fans. So the fans this season especially need to come out in their numbers, support the team. What would be great is that we can fill that stadium for every home game, because imagine if we can win every home game. That in itself will put us at the top of the league without a shadow of doubt. The target would be to make sure that we are unbeatable at home as a team, but we are unbeatable at home with our fans. So that's the message I want to send to them. Come and support us, especially at home. I know traveling can be a complication, but at home, come in your numbers, support the players, because the response will be there. I was a player, and I remember big crowds, packed crowds, just motivated you that little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Welcome.